February 17, 1943. Dear Margie. Well, darling, a week ago this time I was about 100 miles out of Toronto and feeling pretty blue, while you were home and feeling under the weather with the flu. It seems that I have been here for weeks and weeks. Received your letter with the prints, also Gil's letter. Yes, dear, you picked the best two prints without a doubt, so go ahead and have them fixed as you wish. I think Mother would like the one with the grin, your second choice, don't you? I was surprised to hear that Don was still in the hospital, but suppose they must be sure before letting a man go. I am glad you were able to see him Sunday, he would be pleased. And fancy seeing the two lads from Haileybury. I sure envy you sitting beside the fireplace Sunday night, I believe you said. How I would like to have been there with you. I can't think of a better way of spending an evening. I thought of last fall when we were at the cottage and had the fireplace going, remember? Gosh, that was swell, wasn't it, dear? We certainly must have a stone fireplace in the very first home we build. The mail is just in and I have your Monday letter. Funny, 21 degrees below, I can see you running for the car. I'll bet you had on your little Turk's hat, didn't you? Glad you received the Valentine, dear. It was hardly appropriate, but was the only one I could get. Expect a little too sentimental even for you and I. One thing about waiting around, we have very little to do compared with a training section. Today 2 of us were to help the dump trucks dump snow. We dug a path so they could dump over the hill, then went into the drill hall and smoked all afternoon, pretty soft. Well, darling, there isn't much more to write about. All my love, Margie. We'll write tomorrow. As ever. Roger XXXX. February 19, 1943. Dear Margie. Sorry, darling, I didn't get a letter away to you last night, but was on hospital guard for the evening and was too late for mail when I got back, so just went to bed and read until lights out. The mail is coming in okay now, and I got your last letter last night, so everything is up to date from your end at least. I am glad you are getting the Chesterfield, dear. I know you wanted one and were disappointed when they couldn't get you what you wanted before. Speaking of furniture, would you like to get the 2 chairs sent down? You will want them if you are to furnish the room. I'll get Dad to crate them and freight them down, okay? What are you going to do regarding the rest of the furnishings? The mail just came in and I have just read your Wednesday's letter, so we'll be looking for the cheese tomorrow, I hope. And am anxious to see the snaps. I hope they are good and clear. It's really mild today and I am afraid it may spoil the skiing for the weekend. I would like to get in another good day before I leave here. I may ship them to you next week, as I will be leaving on the 3rd of March, I hope. I am certainly tired of this place. In fact, the whole darn army so here is hoping it will end soon so you and I can get about our business of just being together. Well, darling, there isn't much more to say, and it's near supper time. So, with all my love, darling, bye-bye until tomorrow. Your loving husband. As ever. Roger XXXXX.
A letter from Al Kurtz to Roger's mother, Granny. HMCS Wetaskiwin. February 19, 1943. Dear Mrs. Boyer. I meant to write to you much sooner. I am back on my ship and we are all feeling pretty good after enjoying a wonderful leave. I wish to convey to you my most sincere sympathies in the loss of Jack. He was very close to me as a friend and I am proud to have had the pleasure of associating with one of the finest lads in the Air Force. He was one of the most popular boys overseas and had a sense of duty seldom seen in many people. Nothing I can say will ever in any way alter the fact that he is no longer with us. I knew all of his pals and will certainly see them first as soon as I arrive at my base again. I could go on for a long while and tell you about the times we had. Jack is not lost and I like to look at it in the light that he is out of a world which at this time is filled with chaos, greed and hate. Jack was a prince among men and I know that he is at rest in peace. I will be very happy to write to you from time to time and let you know how things are. I saw Don many times in the hospital at Toronto and he is fine now and home with you, I hope. I would like to see Ted and the rest of the family and shall do so on my next leave. Your family is more than doing its part and you can tell Ted for me that in the past year I have seen quite a few phases of the war and would like to see him stay home with you. That is even harder to do in many ways than going away. Write me and I will be most happy to hear from you. Please accept my most sincere sympathy in your loss. The Empire owes a price to you that king nor country will ever be able to pay. Sincerely. Al Kurtz. A. Kurtz, STO 1 by 4893. HMCS Wetaskiwin. CO, FMO. Halifax, Nova Scotia.